I'm going to show you how to make what's called a Hyperdoc to engage your students, especially during virtual learning. This has been a lifesaver. So a Hyperdoc basically is a document online where you can keep everything in one place. So it will have links to other resources. It will have links to other activities. You can do like drag and drop activities right within there. But it's just kind of a document where it's all in one place and it's very easy for students to do in a virtual environment on their own. So first I'm going to show you an example of a Hyperdoc I have made and used in the past, and it's on American government. So you can see I have a quick title, and then the first thing that students are instructed to do is to highlight. In order to do that, they simply just highlight something with their mouse and then come up here and pick a color. Then as you scroll down, you can see that there are different headings for different parts of the Hyperdoc I want students to complete, and there are always directions for them as well. The first thing that I really am excited about showing you is a Google drawing. So I use a lot of these in my Hyperdocs. It's just an interactive activity for students to do directly in the document. So as it says right here, you're going to double click the Google drawing to open it. So when they see this, students will just double click and it'll open to its own window. Now their directions were to click and drag and drop these boxes based on the different branches of government. Once they do drag and drop everything to where they want it to be, all they'll do is hit save and close, and then their changes will appear in their new document. If I keep scrolling, you can see again I have titles for each of my sections. I have another drag and drop. So again, students would just double click. They would drag and drop to sort the boxes and hit save and close when they're finished. Then this is just somewhere where students will type. I like to make those different colors just so they know, hey, alert me, this is something that I do need to type on. Some more reading to do. You can see another question. Then here is a link to a website I want them to look at and then complete this chart where they will just simply type inside. Here's another Google drawing. So again, they will double click, drag and drop the boxes. There's a political cartoon in this one, so you can just insert a picture and then a chart where they will type their answers. Another Google drawing, drag and drop. And then 2 links. So these again are links to outside websites where they could do something else, and a website to government games. So as you can see, this is just one example of a Hyperdoc, but it's just kind of everything is in one place. There are different things to keep students engaged, and this is something they can do asynchronously. So they don't need supervision. They can kind of do it on their own timeline. So let's open a new Google Doc and I'm going to show you how you can make your own Hyperdoc. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. You can name it whatever you want. I'm just going to go ahead and pretend like I'm making that American government one again. So first I want to give it a title. I like to mess with some fun fonts, and so you can choose a fun font that you might like and then try to pick a bigger font for your title just so we know what that document is about. Then I am a big believer in center alignment. I do like when it all looks nice and uniform, so I would just come up here and click that. And then the main thing that is very important in a Hyperdoc is tables. So in order for students to be able to type into a document without messing up any of the formatting that you've done, you'll need to use a lot of tables. To do that, all you'll do is click insert up here at the top, table, and then I like to start out with a lot of rows just because I know I'm going to be using this throughout the whole document. So if you want to just do one column like I'm doing, it'll show up like this. I'm just going to backspace that. You can see different boxes and then you can kind of manipulate them how you want to. So for this box, and I'm going to take my font down, change that back to Arial. For this box, I could have directions. So read the passage and highlight important facts. Something that I want students to know, if I want to center align this, I can do that. And if I want to make this whole box a color, just as kind of like the headings that I had in my example, I would just go up here to this little paint bucket and pick whatever color. So then next, well, first I'm going to go ahead and highlight all of these and get out of that giant font that we had from earlier. Just make it a little easier to work with. And so now I can copy and paste a passage from the internet or from a PDF that I have, or I can insert a picture here. Can really do whatever I want students to do. If I wanted them to fill out a couple of questions, I could type that here, and then maybe I want to insert another table where they're answering questions. You can do a table within a table. So here I could say, what did you learn from the passage? And then what questions do you still have? So really whatever fits your content. And then if I highlight these boxes and make them a certain color, then my students will know that these white boxes are where they are going to do their typing. If I like the size of this, but obviously I don't need all of these boxes here, if I highlight these two boxes, right click, and then click merge cells, you'll see that those two become one. Same thing here. I'm going to highlight, right click, merge cells. So if when I started out and insert a bunch of rows and a bunch of columns to start my Hyperdoc, that's perfectly fine. And then I can go back, and if I don't want 3 columns in this first row, I could just highlight and do the merge cells. So that's an awesome feature. Then let's figure out how to add those Google drawings. So first I would just do the double click, make sure I give them directions, the Google drawing below to open it, and then drag and drop the boxes. Again, I'm going to highlight this, center align, and that's a directions. So I'm going to keep all my directions a certain color. You definitely don't have to, but I just like to kind of keep it uniform. And then right here, I want to add one of those Google drawing activities. So all I'm going to do is come up to insert, drawing, and new. So I want to create a brand new Google drawing. For this one, let's go with the branches of government. So first I want to get some shapes, and you can really use any shapes that you want. Make them any color that you want. It really is completely up to you. You can customize however you like it. But then I am going to use Control C or Command C on my Mac. Oh, grab that box, Command C to copy it, and then Command V to paste. And I'm going to paste however many boxes I need for this Google drawing. One of the greatest things about Google, especially for somebody like me who loves to format things, is it gives you these red lines to make sure everything is appropriately lined up. So you can see as I'm clicking and dragging this, where the red line hits the center, I know that that is in line with the others. And then you can see the blue lines means that the boxes are the same distance apart from the other ones, which makes it all look a little bit more nice. Then I want to create kind of like a flow chart. So I'm going to do the same thing at this layer. If I wanted to make these a little bit smaller and have 2 of them coming off one branch, I could do that. Again, it really just matters what your content is. Then to grab some arrows, I could grab them right here. Just click and drag, make some arrows. If you would rather have lines, if you want no lines, you can do it whichever way you want. All I'm doing is grabbing that arrow button from up here. And there are a lot of different options as well. So this is kind of how I'm just making my flow chart. And then to make the boxes where you're actually going to click and drag them, I'm going to get a text box right here, and I'm going to type in one of the options. So if I'm doing the branches, the legislative branch would be one of them. I do like to make these different colors than the boxes where students are going to place things. So let's make them orange. And then I'm going to click this, again, Control C on my keyboard, Control V, and paste however many options I need for my little multiple choice drag and drop. I'm going to spread those out around the bottom. Then I can go back and edit. I want one of them to say Congress. I want one to say judicial, one to say president, and so on. So whatever your content is, whatever you want students to sort in these boxes is what you will do here. And I mean, that's about it. You can tell that it's not accurate, it's not completely finished, but it gives you a good idea of how to make a Google drawing drag and drop within your Hyperdoc. So then students would just click this, drag it and drop it, drag it and drop it, and so on. When they're finished, they would click save and close, and it's going to show up right there in their document. Once you have it out here, you can also resize how you see fit, and if I drag it over a little bit, kind of got to mess with the formatting a little bit, but you can see you can copy and paste anything, can make those Google drawings. And now I want to show you really quick how to insert a link. So if I'm going to insert a link to click this link and play some government games, I always like to give my students options at the end of an assignment like this, just in case they finish early with some time to spare and they're waiting on other students to finish. I want them to have something educational and productive, but a little bit fun that they can work on. So once I have something typed out, I'm going to highlight that with my mouse. Then I'm going to right click it and click link. And all I want to do, I can copy and paste the link if it's a super long URL, but I know that this is the URL for the website I want them to go to. I'm going to click apply, and boom, it becomes a link. So now when my student clicks over it, they click right here and it will take them directly to whatever link I posted. So clearly this isn't a finished Hyperdoc, but it just shows you how easy it is to make something that looks like this, makes it engaging for your students to do an assignment. It could take multiple days. It could be just one class assignment. It's really up to you how you want to work it, but copy and paste using those tables, Google Drawings, and hyperlinks are going to be your best friend. So that is how to create your own Hyperdoc.